So I just got off watching the. Well, I didn't just get off watching. I watched it like a few hours ago, yesterday. Really, honestly, truly. Just watching debut of not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but six NXT women wrestlers to Raw and SmackDown. On Raw we had well, not six. I guess it was five. On Raw, we had the returning Paige, and then the debut of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And then on SmackDown, we had three NXT women's wrestlers. We had Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan. And as much as I'm proud of them for making it to the main roster. Like, yeah, you're making a come up. You're on the main roster now. And that means Raw and SmackDown are getting a big dose of new women on the roster, because for the longest time we've been seeing the same matches over and over again because we've seen the same females. But adding just three more women to the roster just makes the roster a little bit more diverse, because now you get to see more match combinations. So I'm actually kind of happy in a sense that we are seeing new women on Raw and SmackDown. But then I'm like, okay, so I have an issue with that, because number one, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are still sitting in NXT. They should have been called up. I'm not saying they should have been called up with the five women. No, they should have replaced two of the five. Like, honestly and truly, Sarah Logan and what's her name? Sarah Logan and Mandy Rose. They should have not Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose and I'm trying to think of who was on Raw. I'm mixing up the women now. My bad. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, honestly and truly, they should have been replaced with Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. I could have totally seen Peyton Royce and Billie Kay as a faction, the iconic duo, and Paige joining the iconic duo. That would have been so cool. Can you imagine the iconic duo and Paige together as a package deal? I would have been so behind it. But when Paige introduced, I remember when Paige said, "I'm not alone." I'm like, oh my god, it's about to be Billie Kay, Peyton Royce. And it was Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and I'm like, what? First of all, Mandy Rose, all due respect, she's not really that good. She's getting better. She's getting better, but she's not really all that good. Baby Trish, she's okay. And now, much like Trish started off okay, she got better. Mandy Rose could beat the new Trish Stratus in maybe like 2 or 3 years, and she'll be a really good revelation. And maybe I'll be wrong about what I'm saying, but I don't think she should have been called up. Sonya Deville, same thing. I guess she had an MMA background and she probably fell in Bellator or whatever. But she's not really all that good either. And I know people are saying, well, she's like the first openly gay female wrestler. I'm like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit that she's like openly... And no, I'm not trying to be hateful. I proudly support LGBT, but who gives a shit that she's like openly gay? Like, that's great for her, but does that really matter? Honestly, tell yourself, does her being openly gay and lesbian honestly matter in her wrestling and how she's about to be booked in the main roster? Does it matter? It does not. So I do feel like people should be like, oh, well, we're getting the first this and that. Like, it doesn't matter, dude. Why should I care? That is it going to be part of her character? Because I tell you what, I've seen many with female wrestlers. WWE, TNA. Yeah, I've seen many female wrestlers kiss other female wrestlers on the show. Torrie Wilson and Sable. Let's see, Dawn Marie and Torrie Wilson. Let's see, in Impact it was Victoria and Madison Rayne. I've seen many women kiss other women on WWE television and wrestling in general. So I don't get what that's going to be, unless she's going to be making out with other female wrestlers, and which I highly doubt that's going to happen. I don't see why that's such a big deal. I didn't see why it was such a big deal when Darren Young I guess I can see why it's a big deal when Darren Young came out. But her, it's like, meh. Dude, doesn't really matter. Anyway, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, they're not really all that good. I thought Billie Kay and Peyton Royce should have replaced them. Then you go to SmackDown, and you get two other female wrestlers who I'm like, why did they get called up? And Ruby Riott, she's good. She's fine. I'm perfectly fine with Ruby Riott getting called up. But Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, Nothing against Liv Morgan. She's been in NXT for a while. I thought maybe they could have pushed her a little bit more so we could see more of her character and maybe she could get an NXT Championship run. Not NXT Championship match before she gets called up. But Sarah Logan, she was in the Mae Young Classic and didn't she lose in like the first round? How did she get called up before Bianca Belair or Mercedes Martinez? How did she get called up before any of them? How did she get called up before Kairi Sane did? I don't get that. I don't get this logic of the call-ups that they made. Like, I'm not saying I'm not proud of these females because, you know, they're getting a pay raise. They're on the main roster, they're on TV. I'm proud of them. But I don't think, like, 5 of the 2 should have been called up. Actually, I feel like the only one that should have been called up at the bunch should have been Ruby Riott. That's about it. You could have called up Ruby Riott, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross. Those are the women you should have called up. You should have called up those 4 women. Not freaking Sarah Logan. I'm just sitting there like, why did they get called up again? I haven't even seen them on NXT television that much. Mandy Rose, I've seen her a handful of times. I've seen Sonya Deville a handful of times. I've seen Sarah Logan a handful of times. And I've seen, what's her name? Other blonde chick. Liv Morgan. No, I've seen Liv Morgan quite a few times. I could kind of sort of understand why they called up Liv Morgan. The other 3, the other 4, no. They should not have been called up. It should have been Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and Nikki Cross. I've been fine with that. And you could have pushed those 4 women in NXT and had them be the new, like, leading ladies in NXT because, you know, the more they take it, the more NXT women are taken, the harder it's going to be for them to rebuild. They're going to have to rebuild with the Mae Young Classic women, and I don't have the problem with that. But you could have kept Ruby Riott in NXT. Nah, she would have been fine. You could have kept Sarah Logan in NXT. You could have kept Mandy Rose in NXT. You could have kept Sonya Deville in NXT. They did not have that much exposure down there. So I don't think them being called up was that smart, honestly. I'm not going to keep on talking about this, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm bitter. I'm mad that they got called up. But, you know, they could have waited on them. You could have called up the other 3 of them that I named, but the other 4, they could have waited. Hopefully they do well. Maybe in a few months or a year, I'll be like, I'm totally wrong. I was totally wrong. You know, the call up made sense and all this kind of stuff. It's early on. We don't know what's going to happen yet. I'll see what happens next year.